Yeah, there's some dissonance in that one. I gotta tell you, that piece, that's the Fourth Venezuelan Waltz by Antonio Leroux that I put up an acoustic snapshot of this week, is certainly an acquired taste. It just sounds like there are a lot of wrong notes in there. Matter of fact, there's a note in there that I played that may be wrong, but there's conflicts. It's in the... well, never mind. I'm not going to save it right now. I'm not going to dig that up right now. But conflicting reports on the editing of the song as to there should be a C sharp or a C natural in there. If any classical guitar aficionados out there want to weigh in on that, be happy to hear what you have to say. I chose the C natural. Okay, what is going... Oh, you know, that reminds me too. Like, I have some fairly abstract pieces. One is on the horizon, and it's called First Impression number 2, I believe. And it's the kind of thing that keeps doing stuff that you have to hear. The first time you hear it, you think it's wrong. Let me see if I can... this is... Oh, why am I going into this? I may not remember this at all. But I think I've messed with it here on the news before. By the way, it's... welcome to Friday morning. It's February 20th. Not too bad on that part. Little stranger there. Little stranger there. Last part. So there are 4 short sections to that. Now the whole piece each one gets played a couple of more times, but if you just heard each of those sections once, you'd be easily could be thinking, I'm having trouble following this. It's a little out there. And so all of these 3 little set of pieces I wrote called 3 First Impressions all had something like that. And then the third one, you know what, I might have the order messed up. It doesn't matter which is which. I think I used this as an example of weird phrasing a little while ago. That's a big stretch. Anyway, stuff that is really dissonant can grow on you as you hear it a few more times and it starts sounding like it's right. So, yeah, Waltz 4, one of the more dissonant pieces out there. I didn't really set out here to like wax poetic or philosophical on those tunes, but that's what happens sometimes on the news. You just never know. No, wait. That's way off on a different tangent. Except there was some ragtime involved this week. Here's the things I wanted to talk about this week. I do have a little bit of IGC news. You know what? I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to talk about. I just got my little list here. I'll give a quick rundown of. I have loved the response to the songwriting stuff. That has been so cool. It is neat to see you guys jump on that. And you are. I got to pursue this. What I'd like to do is start seeing people. I think I mentioned we're trying to get the uploaders working again so that you could post some of your own progressions or melodies. But the lyric contributions that people have been making have been fabulous, and hopefully you're getting the idea of some of the processes you can go through to start a song. Just starting with a chord progression and then trying to come up with a little bit of a melody. And Ed was here the other day. We were doing a lesson with Fly on the Wall Ed, and he had a nice little picking thing on the guitar, something like. Something like that. Easy to play on the guitar, but didn't make a very good vocal melody because it jumped around. When you play notes on different strings on the guitar, those notes are far away from each other musically. Maybe a third or a fourth, sometimes maybe even more, maybe an octave. And that's not something you want to dabble with in melodies that you want to make easy to sing. So then we started playing just G's and C's and thinking about less notes. E, B, G. Da, 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 da. A one-note melody. There you go. Put a little, either a passing note, da, 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 da. Passing note, da, 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 going up to another harmonic note, or a neighboring note, da, 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 dropping down and coming right back. So good melodies don't have to dance all over the place. There we go, God. Never mind. Wrong key. When I was in high school, I got recruited to play guitar sophomore in high school in a production the school was doing of West Side Story. Oh, it was C minor. Ah, man. But that was, God, it so fits in with what I was just talking about. The first time I heard some of those melodies from West Side Story, I thought that can't be right. When I played that little melody, because I went home with the music and just played it and had never heard it. And I thought, they've got to be leaving out some accidentals here, or there's some notes that are wrong. But no, I was wrong. I got used to it and loved it. There are some great tunes in there. Oh, I can't be an E. G. Uh-oh. Wow. Beautiful tune. I should learn it. Oh well. How's that for a tangent? Tangential diversion today. Okay, I got to get back to what I was going to tell you about. Well, now let me just tell you, let's see, I finished the whole thing about, let's see, no, I didn't finish that. Here's some of the cool stuff we had this week. The songwriting thing, that's what I mean. I'm loving what you guys are doing. That was very advanced songwriting. Don't go out and try to write something like Somewhere just yet. Try to write something like Me and Bobby McGee, which is sort of where that progression songwriting number 2 came from. Very similar, as you probably noticed. Anyway, speaking of singing, I hope you guys got a kick out of the Here Comes the Sun lesson with Fred working. We decided as we got to the end of it that to just start singing it, and that's kind of like what we did with Sandy a few weeks ago when she was working on Rhiannon. And like I said probably in the lesson, I don't know if we ever got to the last part of that, where we really worked on her having a solo version that is performable, open mic ready. So we'll see that probably at camp this year. Let's see. John. Excellent. Anyway, thanks for putting that up. It's really cool, and I know a lot of people got inspired by it, and I hope other people are tackling that prelude in D minor. Bach pieces are, many of them lend themselves just really well to the guitar and make beautiful guitar pieces. So anyway, it's good to see you again, buddy. That was very cool. Let's see, what else? We had a couple of movies go up this week. The IGC highlights that Larry and Alan finished, and they're still working on re-editing it because as soon as I watched it, there's a noticeable omission, as was pointed out on the forum, but I already had talked to them about that. So, but that reminded me that we hadn't put up Larry's documentary that he shot a few months ago, back in November and December, because it was just a project for school, and we thought, okay, well, you know, he'll do this, and you know, he had Matt and I both watched it, and it just slipped off the radar. That it's like, oh, you know what? There's probably a lot of people out there that would like to see the history of TG, and it's just good to see Matt's face again for a while. You know, I haven't seen him in a long time. You guys haven't either, but you know, it looked like he was having a good time there out on the beach in the Caribbean. So, and there was plenty of Vanessa singing "Summer of '69" at the end of that. Was very cool, taken from this year's camp, as a matter of fact. I think, yeah, it was this year's camp when people were still hanging out there. So, what else do we have? Oh no, that's the big news. I'll get to that later because. This is one of those, no, I guess I'm going to get to that now. Be careful what you wish for. So, I expect to start seeing some versions of Heliotrope Bouquet up there soon. Now, we might just put out a part of this every week or every 2 or 3 weeks, but with Section A that it just went out today, I have put the whole music in there, so if anybody wants to tackle it, and I will at least maybe get to the slow-mo versions of each part soon. There's probably enough of those. You can probably see them in the playthrough. That was, of course, the acoustic snapshot one. So, anyway, good luck with that, and keep me posted on how that's going. One thing I didn't talk about too much in there. Oh, in the first part, one thing I did talk about, a really useful thing, is slides. Technique when you're sliding. It's really important that if a slide is not more than 2 or possibly even 3 frets, that you don't move your thumb when you slide. If I'm going to slide here from the 5th fret, look where my thumb is. I've got it about behind the 4th fret. If I'm going from the 5th to the 7th fret, I'm going to leave my thumb there. I'm not going to do this. Now if I have to go far, the secret there is then your arm and your thumb have to move. You want your thumb to stop before your finger stops. So it like grabs a stopping point on the back. So here, right now my thumb's behind the 2nd fret, but as I shoot for this slide up to the 7th, that was bad because my thumb didn't stop first. I just kept the whole thing moved, and notice my thumb was right there behind my first finger when I landed. What should have happened was this. My thumb should have stopped about the 5th fret so that my first finger then continues. It gives you a little measuring space to know where to be able to stop that slide. So I talked about that a little bit in the intro to Heliotrope because there are a whole bunch of what we might call double stops, octaves, that are sliding. Oh, I didn't mention this one in the lesson. Because now we have to get from the 3rd fret to the 10th. So got to get your eyes there first. We know that from the Blackbird lesson though. Let's see. Anything else I want to talk about? Okay, a little bit of camp news. Everybody should be getting an email very soon, which I mentioned earlier this week in a forum post, but about camp and the Target discount and all that kind of stuff. But I also was up there just yesterday, and there found some really cool stuff that I forgot about. So there's a basketball court there, there's a swimming pool, and that's what I mean. It is such a couple of steps up on the luxury scale from the Quaker Center that I'm starting to get really excited about it. So hope people are setting aside the first week of September to join us at IGC at the Presentation Center. And also on the IGC site, there are a whole bunch of new photo pages and highlights and stuff like that. So if you get a chance to check that out, I have a lot of pictures that are there now from the 2013 camp, from the first one, and I'm still in the process of doing stuff from last year. which was just like 4 months ago. So, okay, that is enough talking. I should play something, huh? You know what? I teased you with this. I might as well play it. See how it's doing. I have to thank John Renborn for writing so much great stuff and being such a big inspiration and influence to me. So, John, if you're out there, haven't talked to you in a long time, but it has been, thanks so much. Okay, enough for the third week in February.